1 second, Morris. Right with you. Peace, Mose. Y'all good? Woo. 1 second. Everybody good? Like I said, I hope every more like what we doing. Thank for the donation, Moors. Yep, it's Cash App $KGB. I'm gonna give this teaching for my brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you for the donation, Moors. Oh, thank you. Gratitude, Moors. Gratitude. Islam. We're gonna kick some real science real fast today. And for class Moors, I'm gonna be in Vegas again this week. So if any Moors in Vegas, hit me up. I'm gonna be there for a couple days handling some business. Okay. But yep, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yep, Cash App $KGB. And I tell Morris, when you give at least a $10 donation, I'm a PDF you at least 2 copies of my books. I got one more book, it's almost done now, and it's the esoteric science of the feds. And it's explaining the esoteric and the esotericness of the feds and what's the symbology of the feds really mean. And so that book is done. I'm just waiting to put it out. We got to put that out. We got a couple other things we're going to put out. But let me put my glasses on so I can see a little bit. But like I always ask Morris, I'm not here for any debate. I'm not here to, how can I say it, get into a religious, connotated, dogmatic conversation with anyone. I'm here to give scholarship to show you who we are in history. So I was just going to talk about trust fund today and a particular type of trust and give an introduction to that to my Moors so we can understand where we're going in some of the classes that's going to be part of what I teach as being a student. But something was asked of me today to touch on, and I'm going to touch on that before we get into the trust. And this about, what's happening with Nick Cannon with his comment about anti-Semitic. And I was talking about this today earlier when I was jogging. And I say, man, I've touched on these topics in scholarship on college campuses years ago. And if brothers have the right people that can speak eloquently from that perspective with, how can I say it, with peer-reviewed scholarly research, you won't explain things in a perspective as mad like a dog or from a biased place. You will come from, how can I say it, scholarship from their pen. And that's what we're going to do today. So the next time someone come with these things, with these, how can I say, phrases to try to tell you this is wrong. And I said, a lot of things were made up for you not to talk about things like anti-Semitic. And I'm giving you scholarship, and I have nothing, no problem to do with anything. I'm a scientist and a scholar. I'm telling you what I know for facts. This when you look up like the Hebrew Hill, all these documents and when you start looking at the document my students have, the Igbo and the Igbo from Nigeria are the real Jews. Thanks for the donation, Moore. Yep, but it's Cash App $KGB. I appreciate it. Thanks for the donation. And so I'm giving you things in scholarship to where you can write on and your children can write on, where they just not speaking mad like a dog, and someone that you think has some authority over you can speak from a place of, how can I say it, biasness, when I speak from scholarship, from their pen. And these are the things that we should be making sure. So when we speak, and we talk about particular subjects, we have those scholars that can talk on those with eloquentness, with a silver tongue, with shortness, and can come from a place of scholarship and say, I hear what you're saying, but let's deal with scholarship. Let's pull out the information from the books that not only we know and you know, but their own pen wrote. So let's do these things. And until we support our scholars and our real sheiks and things, we're going to be confused and we're going to be abused. We don't need no one to do nothing. If we control our own narrative and control our own writings, we got our own. But when someone speaks from a place of unbiasedness and from truth and from scholarship, oh, now you anti-Semitic, now you this and that and the other. Well, stop dancing around things and tell the truth from scholarship. And that's the problem with a lot of brothers. They don't come from scholarship. They deal with a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of what else and coming from mad like a dog. And the problem is we turned our backs on our own laws. And once we accept who we are and know who we are, that's all that needs to be done pertaining to the law. And we got to stop begging. Support our scholars, man. Support our educators. Who thinks, why do we think that a entertainer is an educator? Negro, blacks, and colored misnomer are the only ones that somebody that's entertaining is a scholar. And just because they got some money, you think they a scholar. What have they read? What have they studied? Because they Googled like another person in the streets? And just because they got a couple money in a TV show, you think they a scholar? What work have they put in? Oh, because they say something good every so often. And we dance around the law. Look at all these brothers have all these people on here with these shows, but don't have no real scholars on there that they can come on there and correct the laws and show you things that the world don't know. And the ones that do know, they hiding it. So let's talk about some truth. Where brothers just be having people on there just because, just talking and barking. We dealing with scholarship. So as we dance around this particular topic, so we can be clear, we're going to use their books. And then next I'm gonna go to my library and get all my encyclopedias and show you that what this is about. Real talk. And we don't want to be educated in things. And I say, man, that's why most Moors are confused and navigated, and the average Moor is confused on history. Because you can't speak from scholarship. You speaking from a dog and dogmatic religion, arbitrarily. So let's deal with these teachings. Let's deal with these teachings. Edom is the modern Jewry, and this is their pen. From the Edomites, constituted a part of the Jewish people. Herod being one of the descendants, the Standard Jewish Encyclopedia, 1966. Doubleday and Company, Garden City, New York. Hold on, before I even go to, let me see, can I find my other document? Because this is going to be part of the teachings. Hold on. I don't even want to go too farther with this. Hold on. Yeah. So for they gonna be acting like this what it is. They know what this all about, and they pen gonna testify it, and we gonna talk about this. We gonna come from scholarship. We don't got to be intimidated by nobody. You should have the real scholars on there like myself and real scholars that can pull this history out. Instead of just Negroes talking that black stuff. Black. Man, forget that. Black is dead pertaining to law and science. The Hebrew is the more. We got to use the words that's proper. Why does the Jewish Encyclopedia mention that Edom is the modern Jewry? That is their own writings, not the Klan. Why the KKK reference, and where is your proof, they say. Edom is in modern Jewry, the Jewish Encyclopedia, 1925 edition, volume 5, page 41. You read it for yourself. The non-Israelite Edomites became a section of the Jewish people. Edom, Encyclopedia Judaica, Jerusalem, Israel, Encyclopedia Judaica Company, 1971, volume 6, page 378. The non-Israelite Edomites were then incorporated with the Jewish nation, incorporated with the Jewish nation. Edom, Idumea, the Jewish Encyclopedia, New York and London, Funk and Wagnalls Company, 1904, volume 5, page 41. From then on, they, the non-Israelite, the Edomites, constituted a part of the Jewish people. Herod, king of Judea, being one of their descendants. Edom, the New Standard Jewish Encyclopedia. They, the Edomites, were hereafter no other than non-Israelite Jews. Flavius Josephus, the Antiquities of the Jews. When Negroes would be saying, oh, Flavius Josephus, the first Bible. And I said, no, that's a pen name. That's a pseudonym. And if you read the stuff, it'll tell you exactly what it's all about. But I know Negroes don't study. They just Google, Wikipedia, and go on that fake page for entertainment purposes. Here goes some books for reference. Jewish Influence is Destroying America, from Willie Martin Texton. That was another European. These are who identifies as international Jewry today. They themselves state that modern Jewry is Edom. That's right. There is Edom, Esau. It's called Edom in Genesis 36 and 8, and Edom in the modern Jewry. That's the Jewish Encyclopedia. This their science. The Jewish Encyclopedia tells us that Edom is the modern Jewry. This witness from the 1905 edition records the connection between modern Jewry and the race of Edom. Some anthropologists are inclined to associate the racial origins of the Jews not with the Semites, whose language they adopted, but were Amarians, and Hittites of Mesopotamia. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Whose broad skull and curved noses they appeared to have inherited. The Esau Edom was now absorbed into the Canaanite people by means of Hittite and Hivite wives, according to Strong's Concordance. The word Canaan means trader or merchant. That sounds like a Moor, don't it? You damn right. And the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, as derived from Ham's incestuous relationship with Naaman, the sister of Tubal-Cain. Now, do y'all know who Tubal-Cain, the Europeans, try to use in masonry? Look at it. When they have look who Tubal-Cain is. They take everything and make it analogies, and you don't know who the hell they talking about. The wife of Noah took with him in the ark. That's in Genesis chapter 9, 18 and 27, and 10 and 6, and 15 and 19. So owning to the intermarriage of their forefathers with Canaanites, they were probably few Israelites without Phoenician. That is, they call serpent seed blood in their veins pertaining to their Bible. Jews 3, 5, and 6. The children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites, and there took daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. The Jews claimed to be the children of Abraham, however, that they were not true children of Abraham. It's certain when they say that they were never in bondage. They say they was never in bondage. That's in John 8, 32 and 33. So come on, man. If they're going to tell a story, let's tell a true story. The Jewish Encyclopedia, 1925, volume 5, page 41 states that Edom is the modern Jewry. Khazars and the Jews. H.G. Wells, in his great outline of history, verifies that we have just read the millenniums ago, the Edomites became Jews, but then he goes on and gives us another trial to follow in correctly identifying the people today who call themselves Jews. He says the Edoms joined with a Turkish people of southern Russia, the Khazars, the Khazars, who also became Jews, and both make up the present day. Jews, Mr. Wells concludes, the main part of Jewry never was in Judea and had never come out of Judea. Emphasis added how about reading some history, Reverend Mr. Jewish influence in destroying America. Come on, man. This their pen. This their pen. This their pen. So now we're going to begin to study the following anti-Semitic or anti-Semitism from scholarship. I did this on a college campus. Thank for the donations. So we all be watching that stuff, people be talking, and your brother come on here and do scholarship for donations. Come on, man, and we can correct anything. This ain't no prejudice. This is just history. This is what they know. This is what they hold over your head. This is what the elite try to hold over your head. So let's deal with it. There seems to be several different publications that says when the word anti-Semitism was developed to brand non-Jews, which so that they would not interfere with the objectives of the Jews. So take your pick as to what you want to believe about the word was invented or developed. This their pen, anti-Semitism. The word anti-Semitism was an invention. Research H.H. Bemis, H.H.B.E.A.M.I.S.H. in a New York address, October 30th and November 1st, 1937. In 1841, the word anti-Semitic was invented by the Jews to prevent the word Jew. Yes, listen what I said. In 1848, the word anti-Semitic was invented by the Jews to prevent the use of the word Jew. The right word for them is Jew. Are y'all listening to me? This scholarship, this should go viral. Send this to Nick Cannon. He need to have me on his show tomorrow. We clear up these teachings. Negroes always apologizing. No, pull the books out. This is what we should be educating. Ever since the Jews invented a libel charge of anti-Semitism in the 1880s, the word anti-Semitism was first printed in 1880. The Jewish Encyclopedia, Volume 1, 1901, page 641. It has been built up with the Jewish money, organization, propaganda, and lies, such as the thing that was recorded. I have sympathy for everybody, but come on. It's what it is. Jews is shunned unless used in a most favorable and positive context. That's Charles A. Wiseman, who is Esau and Edom. Are y'all listening to me? Are y'all listening to me, man? Huh? Are y'all listening? So a person can say whatever. We come from scholarship. This ain't no hate speech. I don't hate a bone in my blood. Negro killed my baby brother. Are you? Come on, man. I'm dealing with science. We deal with facts. We ain't got time for that garbage. Actually, the term anti-Semitism was first coined by the German scholar William Marr. Research it. Wilhelmmarr. Research it. In his pamphlet, Der Sing des Judentus über das Germantum in 1873. Research it. Anti-Semitism and the Christian Mind by Alan T. Davis. I hope y'all writing this down. More y'all can get all this from me. My students, I told y'all, wait till Saturday. I got some firecrackers for y'all, for your library. All the stuff that these Moors be charging on the internet, talk about, oh, get this bookstore. We got them all for donations. Everything they be selling y'all. Everything. And my students get all them books to fill their library up for donations. $10, $5. And you buy this stuff from people for $30, $40. Psh, please. Anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism. It is pointed out that the United Nations conventions have the effect of changing race into any group having an ethnic belief, religion, common custom, national origins, etc. So that in the context, multiracial Jews can now claim to be an ethnic group. Did y'all hear what I just said? When I say the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, the SF 181 form, proclaiming, declare, have a due process. Listen to what I'm saying. When the truth of the AA22 number is 30,000 Negro, blacks, and colored, taking this back to the world courts. Listen to what I said. United Nations conventions have the effect of changing race into any group having an ethnic belief, religion, common customs. What's that? The rights and the religious rights of the indigenous people. Listen to what I'm saying. National origins, etc. So that in context, multiracial Jews can now claim to be an ethnic group. That's right, Negro, blacks, and colored. We resurrecting ourselves because we Moorish Americans. Anti-Semitic now is made to refer to anything against the concept of this Jewish ethnic group. Are y'all listening? Anti-Semitism is in no way what is presented to be. And I'm telling you scholarship. I talk just like this with my professors, our European and Jewish professors. This is their pen. I told you I have all the science. I got everything that can correct this pseudo-academia garbage that you're afraid to talk about. The people supposed to make sure we right. This real scholarship right here. Thanks for the donation. And when I'm gone, I'm gone. And when I'm gone, I'm gone. I tell every more that's going around playing scared of science, not correcting themselves, not resurrecting themselves. When I'm gone, I'm gone. That's why we have private teachings on Zoom. And now it's totally private. If you're not a student and a member, I'm not inviting nobody to our private meetings, period. You can't get nothing from me because I ain't here just to sell. I'm here for family and commitments. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is scholarship. Anti-Semitism is nothing but an antagonistic attitude produced in the non-Jew by the Jewish group. The Jewish group has thrived on oppression and on the antagonism it has forever met in the world. That's Albert Einstein, Collier's magazine, November 26, 1938. Here it is, all these Europeans telling you this. At the 1958 World Jewish Conference in Geneva, Dr. Nahum Goldman, president of the World Zionist Organization, warned Jews that a current decline of overt anti-Semitism might constitute a new danger to Jewish survival. The disappearance of anti-Semitism has had a very negative effect on our internal life. The word anti-Semitism was first printed as late as the 1880, according to the 1901 Encyclopedia Judaica, Volume 1, page 641. It is a term that was created by Zionism, according to modern Jewry, author who states, and I quote, Jews began in the 19th century to call themselves Hebrews and Israelites in 1860. This coincides with the cry anti-Semitism, the Encyclopedia Judaica, 1971, volume 10. Note the call themselves and what this means. The New Zealand Jewish Chronicle of September 1995 on page 15. It quotes historian Robert Wistrich, Robert W-I-S-T-R-I-C-H, who says, and I quote, it dates back to 1879, the invention of a German journalist and writer who wanted to signify that anti-Semitism was not the same as traditional religious hatred of Jews, and therefore coined a phrase which had a racial connotation. Research what connotation means. The word anti-Semitism was first printed as late as 1880, according to the 1901 Jewish Encyclopedia. The word is used as a cover-up by those claiming to be Israelites or Semites, but who are not. That's in Revelation 2:9 and 3 and 9, if we coming from this context. So don't be mad at me for illuminating the text. Let's tell the truth. Jewish influence is destroying America. This is their pen. It's their pen. There are who are known and identified as international Jewry today. They themselves state the modern Jewry is Edom. There is Edom. Esau is called Edom in Genesis 36 and 8. And Edom is in modern Jewry. That's in Jewish Encyclopedia. Are y'all listening? They're going to tell you who they are. To be anti-Semitic rightly means being against the descendants of Shem, the son of Noah, but not against the racially mixed modern Jew. See, biblical Israel are Semites. Historically and biblically, there are peoples known as Jews who are not Semites. And some of these other descendants from other two sons of Noah, Japhet and Ham, they are not Israelites, but neither are some of the Semites. The Jews are the descendants of the Khazars, tribes of Russia, Eastern Europe, and Western Mongolia. This is just what it is. So when they talk about communism and all that stuff, some call it Marxism, some call it Judaism. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. Today we find a push for a world government by these particular people, as usually through social platforms. This is from their book, The Jewish Encyclopedia, Volume 11, page 418. Look in their book. Jews have been prominently identified with the modern socialist movement from its very inception. This is their pen. There is much, in fact, that the ideas of Bolshevism are at many points consonant with the finest idea of Judaism. The modern term Zionism first appeared in the 19th century. You see? Come on, man. Could any real Christian be other than against God's enemies? This is what their books say. In Psalms 139 and 21, David says, I hate them with perfect hatred. Who you think they talk about? But the false teachers and the false Jews gonna tell you they talking about you. They're gonna tell you that a Hebrew, a Canaanite and a Moralite can't enter the kingdom of God. That's garbage. What it says, I count them my enemies. That's what Jesus or Yahshua did the same in Luke 19:27. Read it. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Hither means to the same place as he was speaking. And this happened at the second event. When you research what words mean, instead of just jumping over them, trying to arbitrarily explain what they mean. Anti-Semitism. The word anti-Semitism was an invention. Free white ain't nothing but a status. We are the free white. When I tell Moors, we confused. When I say, what's your nationality? Moorish American. What's your race? Asiatics. What's your status? Free white. If you don't understand that, that's a problem. We are told by the Jewish authorities the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to deal with this science. We're going to deal with this science. We're going to deal with this science. We must put me on the planet with all them Negroes talking about your freedom is connected to your blackness. All of them TV shows with Cornel West and all them Negroes talking that garbage. I'll bring out international law all day. The Edomites were conquered by John Hyrcanus, Hyrcanus, who forcibly converted them to Judaism and formed the only constituted a part of the Jewish people. If this their story, Herod King, one of their descendants, in the Standard Jewish Encyclopedia. Also the New Standard Jewish Encyclopedia. From this time, the Edoms became an inseparable part of the Jewish people. When years before, John Hyrcanus had forced Judaism on the Edoms, and he conquered them all. So come on, man. Encyclopedia Judaica 1971. This would mean that their ancestors came not from Jordan, but from the Volga. Listen what I'm saying. This their pen. Thanks for the donation, Morris. Encyclopedia Judaica 1971. And I quote, thanks for the donation. And I quote, this would mean that their ancestors came not from the Jordan, but from the Volga. Are y'all listening to me? Not from Canaan, but from the Caucasus, once believed to be the cradle of the Aryan race. And that genetically, they are more related to the Hun, the Hun, thanks for the donation, more, the Igar, the Uigur, and the Magyar, the tribes than to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's in Arthur Koestler, the 13th tribe. Random House. I got these for all my students. Do y'all know that? That's why I told y'all, man, this weekend gonna be amazing, man. Look, man, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know this book right here, Henry Ford? Y'all know who Henry Ford is? Yeah, the car man. You know what he's talking about in here? I'm telling you, I lectured all this on college campus. So can't nobody come to me and get to talking that this. Nah, man, we gonna deal with scholarship. Let's deal with the pen. Don't try to implement yourself in history and erase somebody else's history because you done made $1 million off of it. And everybody should have heard of Henry Ford, the international Henry Ford, Ford cars that he stole the idea from. Come on, man. Everything been stolen. Just like Jack Daniels, everything been stolen from Negroes. So let's dig a little deeper. The Jews admit that they are not the descendants of the ancient Israelites in their writings. And they can get mad all they want to. I'm giving you scholarship. I ain't giving you with no tradition what your grandma said and because they erased somebody's history. What did the second president of Egypt tell y'all, Nasser? Research it. He said in the Time magazine, and he did it live in an interview. He said the reason why Israel is cursed because God's children left black and came back white. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. And you're going to sit there and act like you're not the people of all the books. You're going to let somebody give your narrative of your story and your brother done been into the fire. And I bring my table and my chair to the meeting from scholarship and make them put their head down because this is exactly what it is. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying if you don't research the second president of Egypt said the reason why Israel is cursed is because God's children left black and came back white. Tell me I'm lying. You can't. So you should be pissed at your own brothers and sisters that's lying. The European know exactly who you are. The Jews admit that they are not the descendants of the ancient Israelites in their own writings. I'm going to give y'all a brief history of the terms for Jew in the 1980 Jewish Almanac. Strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or a Hebrew. That's in the 1980 Jewish Almanac, page 3. Are y'all listening to me? Encyclopedia Americana, 1985. Khazar, Khazar, an ancient Turkic-speaking people who ruled a large and powerful state in the steppes north of the Caucasus Mountains from the 7th century to their demise in the mid-11th century AD. In the 8th century, its political and religious head, as well as the greater part of Khazar nobility, abandoned paganism and converted to Judaism. The Khazars are believed to be the ancestors of the most Russian and Eastern European Jews. Encyclopedia Britannica, the 15th edition. Khazars, confederation of Turkic and Iranian tribes that established a major commercial empire in the second half of the 6th century, covering the southeastern section of the modern European Russia. In the middle of the 8th century, the ruling class adopted Judaism as their religion. Academic American Encyclopedia, 1985. Ashkenazim, Ashkenazim. The Ashkenazim are one of the two major divisions of the Jews, the other being the Sephardim, S-H-E-P-H, thank for the donation, Noble, S-H-E-P-H-A-R-D-I-M. Encyclopedia Americana, 1985. Ashkenazim. The Ashkenazim are the Jews whose ancestors lived in German lands. It was among Ashkenazi Jews that the idea of political Zionism emerged, leading ultimately to the establishment of the state of Israel. In the late 1960s, Ashkenazi Jews number some 11 million, about 84% of the world's Jewish population. The Jewish Encyclopedia. Khazars, a non-Semitic, Asiatic, Mongolian tribal nation who emerged into the Eastern Europe about the 1st century, who were converted as an entire nation to Judaism in the 7th century by expanding Russian nation, which absorbed the entire Khazar population, and who accounted for the presence in Eastern Europe of the great numbers of Yiddish-speaking Jews in Russia. Yiddish, Poland, Lithuanian, Galatia, Bezerbaya, and Romanian. The Encyclopedia Judaica 1972. Khazars, a national group of general Turkish type, independent and sovereign in Eastern Europe between the 7th and 10th century CE. During parts of this time, the leading Khazars professed Judaism in spite of the negligible information of an archaeological nature. The presence of Jewish groups and the impact of Jewish ideas in Eastern Europe are considerable during the Middle Ages. Groups have been mentioned as migrating to Central Europe from the East, often have been referred to as Khazars, thus making it impossible to overlook the possibility that they originated from within the former Khazar Empire. This is their pen, the Universal Jewish Encyclopedia. The primary meaning of Ashkenaz and Ashkenazim in Hebrew is Germany and Germans. Did y'all hear what I just said? The primary meaning of Ashkenaz, A-S-H-K-E-N-A-Z, and Ashkenazim, A-S-H-K-E-N-A-Z-I-M, in Hebrew is Germany and Germans. Are y'all following me? This may be due to the fact that the home of the ancient ancestors of the Germans is Media, or Media, which is the biblical Ashkenaz. Look it up. Cross is one of the opinion that the early medieval ages, the Khazars were sometimes referred to as Ashkenazim. About 92% of all Jews, or approximately 14,500,000, are Ashkenazim. This is just facts. The New Groyler Encyclopedia. Khazars. The Khazars, a Turkic people, created a commercial and political empire that dominated substantial parts of South Russia during much of the 7th century and the 10th centuries. During the 8th century, the Khazars and the Kagan king were converted to Judaism. The Khazars established their capital at Itil, or Atil, A-T-I-L, or I-T-I-L, in the Volga Delta. That's right. I mean, it's in our teachings. And for the centuries thereafter, this Jewish empire held the balance. When I tell you, they try to twist you. But if we're going to tell a story, we know they did just converted. The Jewish empire held the balance of the power between the Christian Byzantine Empire and the Muslim Caliphate. The fortified Khazar city of Sarkil on the lower Don River was built with Byzantine help and served as a crossroad to Central Asia. The Khazars controlled many of the trade routes to the Orient, and some of the Radhanites, the Jewish merchants from Gaul, for example, were accustomed to crossing the Khazar Empire while traveling to and from China to India. And during the late 10th and early 11th century Moors, an alliance of Byzantines and Russians broke the power of the Khazars in the Crimea. And in 1965, Slavotalva's first Duke of Kiev decisively defeated the Khazars' army. Come on, man. The Bible relates that the Khazar Ashkenaz Jews were and are the sons of Japhet, not Shem, according to their pen. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japhet. And unto them were sons born after the flood, the sons of Japhet, the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. That's in Genesis 10, 1 and 3. Therefore, the Bible proved that the Ashkenazi Jews, the Khazars, are not the descendants of Shem and cannot be Semite. Is their pen? Kimmerite king adopts Judaism and converts his army and people. Kimmerite, K-I-M-Y-A-R-I-T-E, or Himmerite. Look up the Saban's Jewish Encyclopedia, the S-A-B-E-A-N-S Jewish Encyclopedia, page 403, and see Saban's, the inhabitants of the ancient kingdom of Sheba in southeastern Arabia, known for the Bible, classical writers, and native inscriptions. The genealogies of Genesis give 3 pedigrees for Sheba. The ancestors of Sebans, who is variously termed the sons of Riam, the grandson of Cush, in Genesis 10 and 7, 1 Chronicles 1 and 9. Ezekiel 27 and 22, 38 and 13, the son of Joktan, and the great-great-grandson of Shem, Genesis 10 and 28, 1 Chronicles 1 and 22 and 3, the son of Joktan, and a grandson of Abraham by Keturah, Genesis 25 and 3, 1 Chronicles 1 and 32. There seems, therefore, to have been 3 stocks of Sabans, one in Africa, the Ethiopian city of Saga, mentioned by Strabo, in the geography on page 77, and the other two in Arabia. Point blank. Oh, and then we can jump into history and the outline of H.G. Wells. Come on, man. All in the science. It's a historical fact. It's a historical fact. Eastern Europe, at any time in their history in Eastern Europe, were never the legendary lost 10 tribes of the Bible lore. That historic fact is you can't refute that. I don't care what nobody tell you. Research established as equally true that the Jews in the Eastern Europe at no time in their history could be correctly regarded as the direct lineal descendants of the legendary lost 10 tribes of Bible lore. The Jews in Eastern Europe in modern history cannot legitimately point to a single ancient ancestor who ever set even a foot on the soil of Palestine in the era of the Bible history. These are facts. Research also reveals that the Jews in Eastern Europe were never Semites, are not Semites now, nor can they ever be regarded as Semites at any future time by any stretch of the imagination. Exhaustive research that we've done as scholars also irrevocable rejects as a fantastic fabrication. They generally accept the belief by the Christians that the Jews in Eastern Europe are the legendary chosen people. Bullcrap. Very vocally publicized by so-called Christian clergy from the pulpits. Well, you research the American People's Encyclopedia for 1954. It records the following in reference to the Khazars. In the year 740 AD, the Khazars were officially converted to Judaism. A century later, they were crushed by the incoming Slavic-speaking people and were scattered over Central Europe, where they were known as Jews. From the above, we can clearly see that the Jews fully understand their Khazarian heritage, as their third edition of the Jewish Encyclopedia from 1925 records. Khazars with the C and a K, a people of the Turkish origin, whose life and history are interwoven with the very beginnings of the history of the Jews of Russia. The kingdom of the Khazars were firmly established in most of South Russia, long before the foundation of the Russian monarch by the Vagrarians. Jews have lived on the shores of the Black and Caspian Sea since the first centuries of the Common Era. Later, the death of Christ. Historical evidence points to the reign of the URL, as the home of the Khazars. Among the classical writers of the Middle Ages, they were known as the Khazars, the Khizars, the Aktizars, and the Actors, and in their Russian chronicles as Khwalisses, Khwalisses, and Urgi, Bily, Ugrybyeelyye. In Encyclopedia Judaica, Khazar, a national group of German Turkic type. I'm telling y'all, it's all here. All here. The Kalek Modern Encyclopedia, page 82 states, Khazars, a Russian people of Turkic origin, who were at the height of their power during the 8th and 10th century, controlled an empire all through it. The Jewish author, Arthur Koestler, relates the following concerning Jewish history in his 1976 bestseller, The 13th Tribe. The author of Darkness, at Noon, Promise and Fulfillment, at the roots of coincidence, dropping another bombshell by proving that today's Jews were, for the most part, descendants of the Khazars, who converted to Judaism 7 centuries after the destruction of Judaism in 70 AD. And this is the story of the covenant in Genesis. And it implies that the Khazars too claim the status of a chosen race who made their own covenant with the Lord, even through how the Khazars were not descendants from the Arabian Sea. He cannot and does not claim for them the Khazar Semitic descent. He traces their Khazar ancestry not to Shem, but to Noah's third son, Japhet, or more precisely to Japhet's grandson, Togarma, the ancestor of all Turkish tribes. And we have found in the family register of our fathers, Joseph asserts boldly that Togarma had 10 sons, and the names of their offsprings are as follows: Jewry, Dursur, Avars, Huns, Basili, Tarnakas, Khazar, Zagora, Balargs, Sibir. We know we Khazars are the sons of Khazar, the 7. That's what they say. That's in the 13th tribe. Another Jewish author, Alfred M. Linthrow, relates the following concerning the Jews. The existence of the state of Israel is not found on logic. It has no ordinary legitimacy. There is neither in its establishment nor present scope any evidence justice, though there may be an utter need and wondrous fulfillment. Arthur Koestler answers this question with the emphatic no in his 1970 book, The 13th Tribe. The roots of coincidence, another bombshell, is proven that the Jews, they the descendants of Khazars. Koestler, the veins of 45% of the Israelites, save only the Arab and the Sephardic Jews. Plus, a big majority of the Jews around the world are utterly vacant of the science, linking themselves to the bloodline. I'm telling you. And without the you and cry anti-Semitism, come on, man, that's garbage. Anti-Semitism, the word anti-Semitism was an invention. H. Beamish in a New York address, October 30th, November 1st, 1931. Research it. In 1848, the word anti-Semitic was invented by the Jews to prevent the use of the word Jew. The right word for them is Jew. Now, tell Nick Cannon this. Somebody should be sending Nick Cannon this from scholarship, for we don't have to back away from that, so he can pull out their dictionaries, encyclopedias from scholarship, instead of just dealing with Negroes on there with their conspiracy theory garbage. According to their opinions. And before I even jump into the trust, the Igbo Hebrew, my students got this. The Europeans know. The Europeans know, man. They know. Genesis 46:16, and the sons of Gad, Ziphion and Haggai, Suni and Esbon, Eri and Ardo and Ariel. There is evidence that Gad's sons are descendants of Gad's sons, Eri, Ariel, and Arodi. Prior to the Exodus, traveled with members of various other tribes of Israel, such as Judah, Levi, Zebulun, and Nigeria, and became the Igbo people. There is also evidence that even after the Exodus, and at different points in history, before and after the Babylonian and Assyrian captivities, the Gadites and other Israel tribes made their way down to Nigeria, down there with their brothers, who they knew were already there. You see what I'm saying? See, I put my students against any Negroes that talk about science and history, and you're gonna let somebody tell you they're all anti-Semitic. That ain't nothing. We don't get mad like no dog. That's why I said y'all love to follow all these celebrities that are just jumping around. They're not scholars. What Israel and others say about the Igbo. Since 1789 AD, the Jews have been interested in the possible Igbo-Israel connection. When a former Igbo slave named Olada Ikwana, I got the book over there. It been on the shelf forever. Moors, y'all can get the book from me. I'll PDF it to you. Don't let me forget, students. Write it down. OLAUDAEQUIANO. Write that down for me, so I won't forget to send it to y'all, Moors. Matter of fact, let me write it down for my students. Because I think I got it. I just got to make sure. Yeah, I got it. Well, yep. Living in London first proposed that the Igbo-Israelite relationship in his autobiography. Several editions of the Encyclopedia Britannica in 1929 connect the Igbo people to Gad. A Torah commentary on Shemot in 1922 made the Igbo-Gad connection also. Some Igbos, including Dr. Ifki, recalls Israel's visiting Igbo land and investigating such claims during the Biafran War, the Biafran War. I'm telling you, man. So I'm going to jump around a little bit. On March 28, 1966, Israel ambassador to Nigeria visited Neri and cried acknowledgement that the Igbos was amongst the lost tribes of Israel. Before he left, he gave Izzy Nari a gift of olives and oil, stating that such gifts were only given to kings of Israel. Matter of fact, let me jump back. under the direction of Israel Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin in October of 1995 and in May of 97, under Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel government sent delegates looking for a long-lost brother, Jewry. They went to Nigeria, state to state, town to town, tribe to tribe, quietly observed to see if any recognizable Hebraic traits or customs would pop out. When they made it to Abu Ghad, their search ended as they saw the Igbo, their display Hebraicness in their culture. They even saw the ancient stone throne of Gad and immediately recognized the script at the foot of the throne as Paleo-Hebrew. Thanks for the donation, more. They also visit many sites that have been connected to Jewry and the Igbo people. And this was documented on film and later shown on Israel television. I'm telling you, and I got it. So now let's jump down to the part where we talking about, where I stopped at. Okay. After much research work on the origin of the Igbos, the archaeological findings indicate that Israel is the true home. They should make a quick comeback for historical reunion. The wild landscapes of Africa, its exotic rhythms and masked dances provide the picturesque background for the tribes, who believe itself to be the descendants of the Israelite tribe of Gad. They interpreted their name Igbo as a mispronounced Hebrew, Igbo, IBO, as a mispronounced Hebrew. And these European Albions know it, and these Negroes goofballs know it too. Until today, the members pray to Chukwu, Abiyama, Abraham's God. The Igbos, well known for their struggle for the independence in the Biafra War, are now considered the Jews of Nigeria and have contributed greatly in the intellectual and economic development in the country. Outreach to Nigerian Jews by the wider Jewish world community gained official status from 95 to 1997, when Israel Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin sent a team to Nigeria in search of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. Western rabbis and educators, Western when I say European Albions, because the European know what I'm saying, and educators such as a European named Rabbi Gorin. Just like when I tell more, one of my students wanted Hakeem Bey books, and I say Hakeem Bey is Peter Lambert Wilson, a European. They study more science. Just like Serapis Bey is Aleister Crowley. I'm telling you, man. He visited the community at the times, and Jewish communities in the West is support those in Nigeria by sending books, all this. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this science. The cultural evidence we have in 1789, Oluda Ikwana, an Igbo and former slave who lived in London, said in his autobiography that the Igbos were one of the lost tribe of Israel and cited many identical cultural similarities between them and the Jews. When the missionaries, forget missionaries, damn colonizers, came to Nigeria to evangelize, colonize, they were dumbfounded to discover that the Igbo people practiced many Hebraic Jewish customs, which they could not have learned from anyone else, because it had to come from ancient practice of their people from antiquity. For they had no Bibles. Let me say this again. For they had no Bibles, and then no one with a Bible until the European colonizers came along. Facts. Because the stuff that they done took and put in stories is our story. Verbally translated, and they didn't put it in books. And then took you off your breadcrumbs, and you think everything fake, and they talking about you, and they implement it themselves, like they your damn God, and they know that you are the father of civilization, the copy Jew. This is a fact. They found that the Igbos practiced eating of animals that met the biblically clean requirements, as well as complete draining of blood from the animals, killing the animals kosherly, for it don't set out a distress signal of blood when it's being killed in the wild, as well as other laws concerning kashrut or kosher animals. We had a concept of clean and unclean, acceptable and abominable or taboo, animal sacrifices like unto the Levitical sacrifice system, belief in a supreme all-powerful deity, the Chakwu above all other deities, circumcision on the 8th day, as well as had the naming ceremony of the 8th-day-old child, giving names to bear the name or title of God within it, separation of menstruating women, the keeping of a lunar calendar, Shemitah and Jubilee years, which I'll be talking about when I say it's on Leviticus, on the Liberty Bell, Leviticus 25 and 10, a jubilee, the 15th year. We go back to our own. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all missing? The amulet of death and servitude every 7th and 15th year, burying the dead facing the east, the direction of Jerusalem and the promised land, sitting Shiva, 7-day mourning period where one sits on low stools, remaining unkept and shave their heads in grief, belief in resurrection, sending of the bodies home of Igbos who die outside of Igbo land to be buried like Joseph and Jacob, desiring not to be buried in a pagan or foreign land, hospitality, like unto the traditions and legends known of Abraham, offering water, meal, and lodging to travelers, liberate type marriages, brothers marrying descendants' brothers, wives to carry the brother's name, marriage negotiations, the Oniak Kibi between families, like unto the story of Isaac and Rebekah, a type of cities of refuge where an Igbo who had committed a crime can seek refuge in his mother's natal home, known in Igbo as Ikwuni, Ikwunne, shunning of those who willingly break Igbo laws against sexual provision, incest, and the like. They had to marry among their people, but outside their immediate tribal clan. A rule of the Torah, which was the law, was developed and was passed down by Erie, rite of passage into adulthood, governance of the people by a conglomerate or a conglomeration of tribal elders and judges prior to the institution of kingship and dynasties. The coronation of kings have rituals and customs that closely remember that of the coronation of kings of Judah and Israel. These, among many other Jewish laws and customs, were found to be kept by the Igbo people. And the Christian missionary forced them to abandon many of the Hebraic practices because though they resemble biblical worship of God, they believe many have been done away with due to the advent of Messiah and the European colonizers. In a nutshell, every law, as stated in the Torah, was being practiced by our forefathers. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? Before the advent of Christianity, except that our forefathers went into idol worship, but they still kept their tradition as was handed down over to them by our forefathers. Archaeological evidence, Paleo-Hebrew scripts, has been found in various places in the Igbo territories of Nigeria. Joins like unto the Mogan David, the Star of David, has been found in various places of Igbo land prior to missionaries' arrival to Nigeria. It's a stone thrown at Abu Ghad, which confirm Paleo, ancient Hebrew inscriptions at the foot of the throne that indicates that the throne was constructed in honor of Gad. There was also an onyx stone found in Igbo land with the Paleo Hebrew word Gad on it. In 1917, the British discovered about 500 feet below the soil of the palace grounds, a solid bronze Star of David, indicating the Igbo people may have migrated from the ancient city of David. To commemorate this event, Nigerian kobo coins were minted with a Star of David on it. Research it. And you're going to let somebody tell you that you're not who you are. Come on, man. Even our dress, the traditional Igbo way of dress, is more Hebraically authentic than the Orthodox Jews in the West who adopted this dress from the 17th and the 18th century. And I encourage the Igbos and all of us as Moors to reclaim our cultural dress. I say this over and over. We must take our cultural dress. Everybody else, the religious Jews, they dress like y'all in religion. This is our cultural dress. The copy Jew. The fez is ours. The turbans is ours. The kufis, the bonnets, all yours. The Jews, all yours. The followers of Yahshua wore turbans and bonnets. Wear our cultural dress. And it's more authentic than that of the modern day Jews. The robes are like the types of Israelites used to wear in ancient times. When I show y'all in the Bible, when I get the Hebrew lexicon, when it's talk about the girds and the girdle, that's our dress. The red chieftain cap and the red and black striped stocking cap. We talk about bonnets. We talk about fez and turbans serve as one's kippah, yarmulke, or head covering, and the ojo or the uju, the fringe shawl, the shawl or the gird of the Igbo carries the same weight and meaning as the Jewish tallit, the prayer shawl in Numbers 15, 37 and 41. Just like when you see the kente cloth, that stuff is in the temples. It's our science. In a book, in Remy Ayan, in his book, The Igbos, the Jews of Africa, Y'all got that? I'm gonna write that down because I don't want to forget when I Sunday for my students. I don't want to forget them books I want to give y'all. I got a whole bunch of them though. Yep. On page 73, it tells us that the Igbos have always worn a talent. Always worn a talent. Well, y'all see my talent? Do y'all know what a talent is? Have y'all seen my talent? Y'all want me to go get my talent? That the Jew and my ram's horn that I blow every morning at 6 a.m. That's our science. My talent, all that's ours. I promise you. We always worn a talent, like garment. The talent is our garment. Y'all know that, right? The talent, watch this. Oh, I'm sorry, Icy. Yeah, I'll be here for this all. See, we think everything somebody else's culture. When this is our culture. I'm not gonna blow my sofa, but I'm gonna do it another day for y'all. All this is ours. When we talk about that the Jewish Israelite, and the Moorish Israelite, all this is ours. This is our science. And I promise you, in my book, The Chosen One, I've been showing you. We wore turbans, the spiritual workers. In my book, The Chosen Ones, I showed that plenty of times. This right here. This ours, man. This ours. Yeah. This our science. This our teachings. This us. This represents us. All this represents us. Let somebody tell you. The copy copied you. Let somebody tell you any wrong. Isis, you know my book, The Chosen Ones, under there? With Wentworth, Matthew, and them all in their stoves that everybody be like posting with the fringes. This what it is. This is us. We worn a talent like garment and have always worn our caps, our bonnets, our turbans. And that the Igbo women, unlike those of other tribes, have always been very modest and covered themselves, specifically their chests with a wrap. Specifically, they chest with they rap. And then you got all our empresses. Yep, that's the ISIS. And then you got all our empresses. I be seeing them. They be making little TikTok videos with they breast out because you holding some damn sage. All that provocative and you half naked. Man, you ain't even dressing modest. That ain't sexy.
That's Scissor. She be doing that.
That's garbage. And here it is, our empresses. We supposed to be showing our empress and all y'all doing. That ain't no more science. That ain't our culture. We dress modest. Especially cover your chest with a wrap. So why you want people to see your chest? Who you trying to attract? That's why I said these Negroes be acting like rappers and our empress be acting like street women. Here go Wentworth Matthew. Look at Wentworth Matthew right there with his stole on. Look what it say. Look at the star. Look at the 6-point star. Look at the American flag and the so-called Israel flag. And this in the 1920s. Israel created the state into the 1940s. So who's the copy? Who's the copy? The copy been copying you. Come on, man. That's the Moorish Zionist temple of the Moorish Jews. But then let me get to the meat and potatoes, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Let me take this thing off. It's hot. We correct all the teachers, man. When somebody try to come with that garbage and try to bury you in a shallow grave. Nah, man. Going with that garbage. We're going to tell you exactly what it is. This is our science. Period. Others are converts. This is our science. Well, let me get to the good part. This is our science. The problem is we ain't used to seeing our people in our native culture because they done stripped you from your science and made you some stupid Negro Christian. That's the problem. And the etymology of Christian is Cretan. In the medical field, stupid, maimed, dumb Cretan. You see this picture? You see this brother with the turban on? You see that brother with the turban on? Let's read the top. Let's read what it says. Rabbi Ford in a turban. Turbans were commonly used in black spiritual churches and signified the mystical East. What's the mystical East? The silent brotherhood of the East. The Moors, the committed and adapts. The triple rose, when used by black religious magical workers. But we know when it's used by adepts. Come on, man. Period. They tell you. And you're going to go around and call yourself with this garbage and a European copy Jew. And we going around here acting stupid. See? Plain and simple. And when you see somebody, when you see a European and all their religious stuff, you don't understand that's you. But then when you see your brother in it, the first thing you want to act stupid. Or what does that mean? No, I'm who I am. Who are you? So I'm going to leave that right there, man. I'm going to leave that right there. So I'm going to give y'all just... Oh, and then I even show like my singing bowls. Like all this is our science. Everything. Everything belonged to the Moors. Everything, all of it's our rituals and customs. But you don't see your brother, you don't see us doing it. You see other people doing it and you put them on a pedestal. Sad. Sad. Sad, man. So I'll give y'all a little bit of this introduction about trust. Thanks for the donation. Because Moors be telling Moors, oh, get a will. Man, that's litigation. You don't know what type of trust to be. So I'm gonna give a little introduction. All my students, y'all wait till Saturday because this is what I'm gonna talk about. I just want to give attention grabbing to my brothers and sisters that's not members to see what you missing. Because I correct things. People just be talking about it. So when I talk about the common law, when I talk about the certain trust, I be talking about is a pure trust. And that's the ultimate asset protection. And I'm giving y'all common law. I'm giving you common law. And you really have two major enemies in this world. The Internal Revenue Service, who wants to confiscate wealth that rightfully belongs to you and everybody else. And this includes lawyers under the British Annotated Registry. I'm just telling you a fact. We live in dangerous time when anybody can sue you for the slightest provocation, real or imaginary. It's been outrageous awards paid out even for foolish cases, Moors, which totally wiped out everything in the world owned by unfortunate losers. But after you have gotten the Internal Revenue Service off your back, you must arrange your affairs and your estate so that someone cannot attack it and steal what you owned. Listen to this science. You're going to learn, my students, you're going to learn the unique steps to protect your wealth from invasion by money-hungry people or from grasping lawyers who can and will, thank for the donation, who can and will sue you for any crazy reason these days. Watch. You're gonna learn how to arrange your affairs so that your fruits of your efforts as well as your inheritance won't be stolen from you. And it'll be protected and preserved no matter who tries to confiscate them, including the IRS. And with the unique asset protection tools, your estate will end up lawsuit proof. The foundation for law in our society is the Constitution of the United States, signed by the so-called Founding Fathers in 1787 and amended with the Bill of Rights, which were ratified by the states in 1791. Article 1, Section 10 states that no state shall pass any law impairing the obligation of contracts. The Fourth Amendment of the Bill of Rights strengthens the citizens' rights when it says, in part, most Negroes ain't citizens, the right of the people to be secured in their persons, houses, papers, effects against unreasonable searches, and seizures shall not be violated. So when I talk about the common law, the pure trust, let's deal with a little bit of this. Trust or trust estate is a legal entity for most all purposes as our common law trust. Research a precedent law case, Burnett versus Smith. Research it in 1922. It's established by a legal precedent. I hope y'all know what precedents mean. That pure trust are lawful, valid business organizations. Baker versus Stern. The common law Peers Trust offers a comprehensive blanket program available for those Americans who understand that as American citizens and Moorish Americans, they and they alone and their designated heirs are entitled to the rewards of their efforts. These Americans understand that the government has no pre-existing mandatory claim on the citizen's property. And you think this is some Moorish law. Every European got this because they know that they are American, or at least they act like they are. Neither does anyone in the legal profession. And I'm telling you about a pure trust set up by a professional organization. See, an ordinary trust set up by a lawyer, if it's not just a boiler point, but a really, really, really good trust, it takes time. You got to get the right people to do things. If you don't know things, you got to get the right people to do things, and you got to check them. Perpetual, unpenetratable privacy and security. Like Mike Tyson said, he said, my defense is impregnable. This is impregnable. This pure law, pure trust is impregnable. Y'all don't hear me? The foundation for law in our society is the Constitution of the United States, Moors. Right? Article 1, Section 10, what does it say? No state shall pass any law impairing the obligation of contracts. What the Fourth Amendment say, the Bill of Rights. The common law purest trust, what it offers. I'm not going to jump all in, but I want to jump around. Wait to class this Saturday, y'all. Going to be amazing. It is established by legal precedent that pure trust are lawful pitfalls and problems of the state planning. I'm going to get you in all that. This is the thing that we must know. So I'm not gonna share any more with that. I want to stop. But you got to understand the difference between common law and merchant law. A lot of more just begin to twist up. I'll be like, man, y'all is crazy. More don't know the difference from common law and merchant law. When in 1938, the United States Supreme Court blended common law with merchant law in the Erie Railroad versus Tompkins case. The court declared that from the time on, the common law was blended with equity law. I hope y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a way to do things. When I illuminate civil trusts must be registered regardless of where they are created. Pure trust is very different from statutory trust. Man, I can go on and on with illuminate things. Is trust based on common law? Is the trust registered anywhere? Is a federal ID number of some sort obtained? All the stuff you need to know. If the answer of any of these questions is yes, you are dealing with either a statutory trust or you have a fraudulent instrument, which is indefensible in court. Watch this. Let me hear what I said. Watch this. How can you tell if you are dealing with a true pure trust? You got to ask these 5 questions. Is the trust based on common law? Is the trust registered anywhere? Is the federal ID number of some sort obtained? Does the trust have a beneficiary interest? Does the trust have an executor, protector, or grantor? And if the answer to any of these questions is yes, you are dealing Moors. Did y'all hear what I said? What you dealing with? If you answer yes to any of those questions? Huh? You're dealing with either this, 2 things, a statutory trust, or you have a fraudulent instrument, which is indefensible in court because you don't know the law language, because you let somebody get you caught up in some garbage. Why? Because the common law no longer exists as a separate legal form. I just told you that. This country, any instrument based upon is false. Any instrument that must be registered with the state is a privilege of the state, and therefore not a real pure trust. Any instrument with which possesses a federal ID is a federal instrument, and so not a real pure trust. A real pure trust does not have any beneficiaries because it is not a trust agreement between 3 parties, but is a contract between the trustees and the general manager. I hope you follow me. Only statutory trusts have executors, protectors, or grantors. These are unnecessary, phony positions created to provide full employment of lawyers to get stuff from you. And y'all don't know the language, and I be laughing. They ain't gonna come to me with that garbage. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Because they think you stupid. They'll get you caught up and file some paperwork before they can extract stuff from you. But I know that. They ain't gonna come to me with that garbage. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Anyone who tells you they have a pure trust, which violates any of these 5 points, they lying to you. And they does not know what they are talking about. I guarantee you that, Morris. It's very important to know that there are a number of people representing themselves as having pure trust for sale, and they do not. In most cases, they are salesmen who have found a document from some source, rewritten and copied portions. Just like when you get these Negroes talk about some, you don't got to pay no personal tax. Some talk about some 13th Amendment. Yeah, okay. Research the Europeans, the paradigm group. You going to jail because you don't know law. You listen to some fool. The common law pure trust served has been producing the common law pure trust for Americans. And I'm going to leave that right there. Pure trust, why must the pure trust be irrevocable? And I'll leave you with this, to make sure that there is no confusion about the fact that you do not still own the pure trust property. The assets must be permanently transferred to the pure trust. And I'm going to leave that right there. Just like I be seeing more these Negro attorneys getting up there trying to get you caught up in some not understanding business and a nonprofit business. And when you making a profit and things like that, where I tell people, I know how Europeans set things up other places. Like say, for instance, if a company say they made say $50 million, right? And then they set it up to where, okay, they have another company in a company where it's set up. So they say they rent and all their bills is 50 million. So once they do them dues, once they do that paperwork, which is legal, they haven't made a profit. And profit is only tax. So when you look at certain things as business, you see things that you ain't made no profit. But see, you don't know this because some goofball to get you caught up in some contract, in some litigation to get you explaining. And once you start opening your mouth, you done. And I'm telling you what I know. So with that being said, Morris, I can't wait till Saturday for class. It's going to be amazing. Morris, thanks for the donations. We going somewhere. I mean, the only way we can build this physical temple out here and show these dirty Moors what it's really about is we fulfill our obligation, man. That's the only way. Islam Moors. Oh, and all my students, I think the log-on is going to be changed Saturday. I think Saturday is the 18th, so I think that's the last day. And so I'll be sending all y'all emails. When I get back, if the log on change Saturday, I'm going to send a blast email out. If not, it'll be the same Saturday, then it'll be changed Sunday. But I'm going to be sending blast emails out if it's not the same, y'all. So Islam to y'all, man. Islam. Any questions? I forgot. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave it like that. Any quick question? Any quick questions? So I shipped all the new members. They books. They going out. As soon as I get done, I'm shipping them out. I'm shipping your hat out. Man, who else on here? Solomon and my Empress. Then I'm shipping out the suits next. I got to ship everything out piece by piece because it's so much, and I want to make sure things get there first. That's how I do mailing. But all my new students, y'all books came. We shipping everything out. The feds will be coming next. Everything is right on schedule. Like I said, I'll be in Vegas this weekend. If any more is in Vegas, y'all can hit me up. I'll be there. How much to send for a book? What book you want? Let me say something else too. Let me say something else too, Empress. You can send a $10 donation. If you want 3 of my books, I'll send you all of my books. A $50 donation, I'll tell you what, a $40 donation, I'll PDF you all 7 of my books. It's no problem. But you got to remember, I tell my students can attest to what I'm saying. Every Saturday and Sunday after class, I offer history and science and religious books to build your library from peer-reviewed scholarly research. So instead of you going to Amazon and all these places supporting these for-profit people, I offer all these books to my students and members at the end of every private class, Saturday and Sunday on our Zoom meetings. And I offer all books, and when you can go to Office Depot and Staples and just print them at your own convenience. But if you want me to print them, then I have to charge that extra to print them because I have to, bind them and everything. And when you get things from me, it's a donation. That's why I tell more. You can ask any of my brothers and sisters, that's members and students, what their library looking like. And all the books, you can go on Amazon and see how much them books cost. And you can get them from me for donations because we are real. So any questions, Morris? Got any questions before I get off? Make sure when you send a donation, if you want those books, to please send an email to Goodman, Goodman, Khary, Khary, right? Goodman Khary at gmail.com. Or when you Cash App, you know how you can Cash App and you can put your email address on there. Can't you, Isis?
Oh yeah, you gotta put it in the notes.
You got to pull it in the notes. So if you send a Cash App, Morris, anybody that's in a donation and you new, please put it in the notes for I can PDF you my books. No, you could have got all that from me for donations instead of ordering stuff from Amazon and places. But hey, who am I? Like I be telling Morris, yeah, we get things, but we don't have to go outside of our tribe to get resources. We don't have to give money away. Our money is to use, is to barter. That's what I'll be telling Morris. That's great we got these books, but do we understand them? What I'm saying is, where are we getting them from? If we're not getting them from Morris that can circulate it, that's a real non-organizations that can help people, then it's a waste of time. And it's no disrespect. Most Morris say, I got this, and I say, where you get it from? Amazon. I'm like, why? This is like when I tell Morris, oh, I got the Morris Quran from Amazon. Why? You get all that stuff from me. Hold on. So when I that's what I'll be telling Morris. I'm like, everything your brother have, these is going out to my students. Like I'm a wholesaler, and Morris just be giving their money away. These are the books that go with our teachings. All my students get these, and then I break them down. How somebody that don't know the language, they'll read right over a word and try to arbitrarily explain something that they don't even understand. My students have these. This is elementary science. This is elementary science. I got everything is PDF, except a couple of them. The Unto Thee I Grant. Morris don't even know what this is all about. Our Discover Key questionnaires, and that's just a small fraction. So when I tell Morris, when we going on buying books from these platforms because these people figure out how to sell our items, and I say that's fine. When people be going to all these Masonic stores getting the fezes, and I say, why would you want to go somewhere? Because you can save $25 or $30 and you'll go buy a fez from a fraternal store that don't give a damn about you. Instead of supporting your brother, and it's a donation, you get a tax and receipt because we real. And the same place they get their material to make the fez, that's where we get them from. Period. They don't even make the fezes. My embers make the fezes. One of my embers make the fezes for everybody. One of my embers make the fezes for them companies. That's why when them Negroes be hitting up, she be like, no, but do you know them? I'm like, man, I don't even deal with them clowns. They're like, well, don't you know who you are? I'm like, hey, I don't even have to explain that to people. So this is what I'll be saying when more say they be getting the books, and I say, where you get them from? They say they go on Amazon. And I say, you just paid a for-profit company for science that your own brother got, that you could have got the same science for a donation. A little bit more, and as you get science from us, at the end of the year, you get a taxes and receipt, just like if you was a part of any other religious organization and you getting books from your organization. But we don't know this, and we just be giving our money away. You can ask any one of my students. They have all PDF books, and they print them themselves. So with that being said, Morris, books will be going out. Y'all feds will be coming soon. Just please be patient with me, man, because out here in Arizona, a lot of stuff is slow. But believe me, I have everything in. So everything is going out simultaneously. Be patient with me. All my new students, like I said, y'all books and stuff is in. Like I said, one of our books, the Quranic Study Guide, it was out of print. So I got some other stuff popping. I open one up. I'm going to be printing that and making that PDF, or I just have to Well, actually, I'm making a PDF so everybody will get that PDF because that book is out of publication. I don't know when to come back, but we'll wait. So that's what I be telling Morris. It's like Morris be saying, "Oh, I got this and I got that," and I say, "Where you get it from?" The first thing they say is Amazon, and I'm like, "Well, okay, well, I got all the books, and why would you give all of it to Amazon? You gonna make Amazon rich? Somebody that don't care?" That's like a more asked me, "Why your books ain't on Amazon?" Because I don't gotta give Amazon none of my money. I can sell my own books to my people for donations. I'm the author. If a more don't have the money that they want to pay for my book, I'll PDF it to you for $5. Don't make me no different. Moore's be selling books on Amazon. You look at these, Moore's and Masonry and all that, 60, 50 bucks. No, I'm a nonprofit. If a more want that science, you send me $10. You can get all 7 of my books for $40 PDF. My books, Sufism and Triple Rose, all my books trump the science that they be trying to sell for you for high dollars. I don't do that. The science that I put together, got and compiled about masonry and science, man, if more is real, a $10 donation. Just like my new book, get ready to come out, The Esotericness of the Fez, the perforations and symbology, finna trump all that garbage that these goofballs talking about. And I'm gonna have it available for more for PDF for $10. If you don't have 10, $5. And more be going on Amazon buying them books from them goofballs for $60. I got all that. I have all that, man. Listen, I invite these to all my students. A lot of stuff when you be looking at, we don't even understand where the science come from. I'm telling you, I got a whole library with 15,000 books and manuscripts. And so a lot of my students, I give things simultaneously to build your library because we must do things simultaneously. So that's what I'll be telling Morris. They don't get what I'm saying. They think a book is going to correct the science. You know? But it's the teachings. And so when we say things, we have it all. I'm a scholar. I should have it. A lot of the stuff that we think we know, when we open it up, it'd be lower level science. And the books that I gathered and compiled for my Morris, this is the science that trump all the little lower level science we want. Yeah, I got them. I ain't say you was questioning me, no, but don't. That ain't what I said. I didn't say that. Yeah, I got them. You asked, do I have it? That's a question. I answered it with an answer. I know you're not questioning me. You just asked. Ain't nothing wrong with a person asking a question. But yeah, I have them. A lot of them I have PDF. And I offer them to my people. That's what I tell Morris. I build my family libraries. It's a commitment. That's why I said it ain't about just making money with people. I deal with the right people because I can care less. But with my tribe, we building a tribe to where we don't have to let people in. We're building a tribe of wealth, a conglomerate to where we don't waste our money. We just don't give our money to people that don't mean nothing to us. So with that being said, Morris, Saturday for my students, man, it's going to be amazing. I got a whole bunch of books for y'all, man. It's going to be amazing for your library. I know y'all library is building now. Let me ask some of my students on here. Hey, how many of y'all, where y'all at with y'all books right now? All the books that I'm offering at the end of class. We've been doing this for a couple weeks. How many books y'all got? Probably like 50 already, maybe 100. Islam Morris, this is what we do. We build our library. And now once all my students get the books, we're going to start going over our books, teaching our lesson plans. We're going to be building. And you're going to see in the calendar years, not only will we be growing mentally and physically and spiritually, but financially, we're going to be growing. Financially going to be growing. And y'all going to see what we donating, because I'm transparent. It's going to go to building our temple. It's going to go to us buying a temple, putting all our machines in there to build. All our hat machines, our library, everything to do to be self-sufficient. All the clothing that I have. It's going to be in there. All the jewelry that I have, all the hats, the fezzes, the shemags, the turbans, the tunics, everything, all the Moorish apparel. We're going to have it, and we're going to provide it to ourselves. Our library is going to be there. With that being said, Morris, Islam, thank for the donations. The only way we can show support is by helping us, man. Getting the book, sending donation is, and being a member and a student. Islam.